So the next set of videos that I'll be doing will be on the theory of PLCs and industrial automation. It is something that I made up to sound wise and coolish. Although I call it theory, I do not mean it in a sense of reading something from a textbook and trying to understand what it means. I'll be going through information that you need to carry in your mind if you work in control and automation in any role and in any industry. This is information that needs to be in your subconscious or your brain's muscle memory, if that's a thing, such that if someone were to call you asking for help on a problem, you can be able to help them and guide them through that problem over the phone, wherever you are at any time. Now, understanding the theory of PLCs and industrial automation is like understanding and speaking a new language. Language is powerful because it gets you information. Information is good because it gets you knowledge. And knowledge, as they say, is power. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can use your understanding of the theory of PLCs and industrial automation to your own advantage, even if you've never seen, touched, or worked with the PLC. So this information is for everyone, especially the people who do not have access to control and automation equipment. Knowing the theory of how things work and fit together will enable you to engage in conversations with sales reps and remote support engineers. You can be able to participate in control and automation problem solvings in your plant. You can be able to do research in developing technologies in the control and automation environment because you now know what to look for, and you can therefore make better business decisions. And the other one, which is my favorite, if you're planning on doing personal development and training on PLCs and industrial automation, you can use this knowledge to measure the quality of the training course that you will be attending, so that you don't go to a training course without having expectations or the direction which you should be going. Now, I want to emphasize this. This information is not intended to make you a fraud or someone that claims that they know PLCs. You are gonna know about PLCs and it will definitely add a lot of value to your career. But don't go to your CV and write PLCs as a skill. Just because I know how to speak English does not mean that I can automatically be a lawyer in South Africa. But knowing English puts me in a better position to get a law qualification and to practice law than someone who doesn't know English. The idea here is to help you get going and get you into spaces of gaining PLC knowledge, even if you do not have access to PLCs or control and automation equipment. For instance, if you work in a plant that relies a lot on external PLC and control and automation support, if a support engineer were to call you and ask, "What PLCs are you running?" you can tell them, "We run Siemens and Allen Bradley PLCs, but the issue we have is on our Allen Bradley PLCs." And then they can say, "Which controller are you using?" Then you can answer, "We are using a ControlLogix L73 controller running with Studio 5000 version 32. So now you can see you're in the game. Then they come to your plant, get into your systems, and then they tell you that, "Oh, your motor was not starting because another PLC tag was writing to the motor start tag." Then you say, "Oh, how do I see that?" They show you, and now you know how the writing of output tags works for Allen Bradley PLCs. When you have a similar problem on your Siemens PLCs, on that day you will learn how the writing of output tags works with Siemens PLCs. Now you see, you have information on Allen Bradley PLCs and Siemens PLCs. And then maybe on the day of the Siemens PLC breakdown, you can be like, "Actually, I've seen this bug before, and I think that we should do this and this so that the bug is eliminated and this does not happen in future." And then the whole room goes like, "Yes, yebo, yes, oui, yeah. We implement change, yes, yeah." And now you are applying your knowledge and getting some experience in the process. I hope you get my drift. So let us have a look at what we will cover. You can use some of these topics as things that you need to know for job interviews. You will definitely be asked questions on some of these topics, so they are good to know. So high level, when we do PLC theory, these are the topics that we will look at. We have already done PLC hardware. Now building from that, we are going to do connection interfaces. Here we are going to be covering different ways or methods of connecting and communicating with our PLCs. PLC programming is the least of your problems. Communication, on the other hand, is the number one biggest stress when dealing with PLCs. Then we are going to look at the programming software. Now this is a dynamite because look at the things that you have to know when it comes to the programming software. And during a job interview, your interviewer can tell you to speak about any one of these points and you need to be open. You need to go in without hesitation. So here are the topics that we are going to cover. We are going to do versions, layout of how the programming software looks. This is going to be a typical layout for all PLC programming softwares. We're going to do variables or tags and how that works in PLC programming. We're going to do programming languages, instructions or programming blocks. Then we do hardware creation and configuration, routines, sections or programs, meaning of offline and online, addressing field networks. Yes, you remember field networks, it comes back here again. Then we do add-on instructions or third-party blocks, then structures, programming good practices, and navigating through an existing PLC code, because most likely when you get a job as a PLC programmer or someone who works with PLCs, you're going to have to know how to navigate through a code that has already been written by someone before you. Something to keep in mind that you'll also see is that working with PLC hardware, software, and communication is an iterative process. You move through these features seamlessly as you do PLC programming. And as you gain experience, you begin to flow from hardware to software and communication without knowing. Throughout this series, I'll be using Schneider Electric, Allen Bradley, and Siemens PLCs. Now, as far as understanding PLCs is concerned, it is very easy to move from one PLC to another. Once you understand a certain type of PLC, it is very easy for you to be able to understand another type of PLC or another make of PLC. Just because you know Siemens does not mean that you automatically know Allen Bradley. The theory remains the same, but the experience is different. And I will show this practically when I do the same example in Siemens, Schneider, and then in Allen Bradley PLCs.